It's Monday, May 16th, on the way up to the Upper Peninsula of Grand Island, and we are on the mighty Mackinac Bridge. We are paying the toll for the Mackinac Bridge. Yes, $4. Thank you. Heading off M28 into Grand Island Ferry and bus tours to Grand Island. This is a place to park. We're packing up our kayak at the Grand Island Ferry service and parking lot. Grand Island's right out there. That's where we're headed. A half mile off Mainland here. Menacing, which is what the Ojibwe called Menacing. The Grand Island Ferry service. They will open up Memorial Day weekend. This is where we're launching our kayaks. We left Grand Island Ferry. Got a half a mile to go to get to the island. A little bit cool, probably upper 40s today. Probably 13, 14 mile-an-hour winds from the north. To the north is Gitchigumi, which the Ojibwe and Chippewa called Lake Superior Gitchigumi. And the deepest point of Lake Superior is 40 miles north of Munising at 1,300 feet deep. That's Williams Landing straight ahead and ferry dock, named after Abraham Williams, the first permanent white settler to move to the island in 1840. After being welcomed by the Ojibwe Indians, who welcomed him to the island to help them with blacksmithing and trading furs. This is the Grand Island Ferry landing dock and Grand Island National Recreation Area, Hiawatha National Forest. Looks pretty quiet today. I don't see any other people. It took us 20 minutes to cross from Munising to the Williams Landing, and here's where we pay our $5 permit fee. Here's the visitor contact station. Some restrooms over there. We are gonna head back out on our kayaks to get one of the kayak camping spots. Monday, May 16th, we are at Grand Island, or Kitchiminis, which is what the Chippewa called it, meaning the Great Island. And we are at Williams Landing. Kayaks are back there. And we are going to spend 5 days out here. We're going to kayak around it, 27 miles, and then we're going to backpack around it. We are in Murray Bay, just left Williams Landing. Stone Quarry Cabins up ahead. It's a pretty large bay. You can see way over there is the other end of the bay, and the water is just dead calm here. And nice sandy bottom. Wish we had our wetsuits and scuba gear out here to dive on these rocks, but too much to carry. And a few private residences along the side of the island. There's 21 private residences in all that were grandfathered in as summer cottages when the Cleveland Cliff Iron Company sold it to the Hiawatha National Forest. There's Murray Bay. You can see the whole bay now. The Ojibwe Indians were the primary residents of Grand Island in the 17th and 18th century. They had small agriculture plots. They did some fur trading, and they also collected a lot of and produced a lot of maple syrup on the island. The first settlers came to the island in the early 1800s, and the American Fur Company set up a trading post here in 1820. Abraham Williams came to the island with his family in 1840 from Illinois, and they were the first permanent white settlers here. They made their home in the wilderness. The Ojibwe Indians invited them here to help them with their blacksmithing and also for trading furs. Head along the west side of Murray Bay at the moment, and a very interesting rock formation. The Cleveland Iron Company bought the island in 1904 and started a hunting club on it. They had caribou, moose, white deer, a bunch of animals planted. Clear cut about 80% of the island. And in 1990, they sold the island to the Forest Service, and it became Grand Island National Recreation. It is calm in the bay tonight. It's awesome. Little on the cool side, but I am overtaking Rick at ramming speed. This is ramming speed. I can send him into a tailspin. Oops. It's one of the old cabins, probably 100 years old. Grandfathered in. Pretty cool little cabin. Got the Murray Loop campsite up on this end of the bay. Here's the Murray Bay group campsite area. Pretty quiet today, of course. We're the only two crazy enough to be out here camping at this time of year. Here's the Bermuda and Loon Call campsites right here, just past the Murray Bay group campsite. And we're gonna go check these out, see what they look like. Since it's only 3:57 at the moment. Gonna check out the Bermuda campsite here a second. Couple tent spots here at this area. Here's one of them. And they got a picnic table, fire pit, bear box. Looks pretty nice. Here's the Loon Call campsite number 1. And it looks really nice. And a bear box back there. And then this way, this is Bermuda campsite number 2 over here. There's the mainland through there. This is the northeast corner of Murray Bay. Pretty nice area. A lot of cattails, swamp area. Northeast corner of Murray Bay. On the east side of Murray Bay and Muskrat Point is straight up ahead. Came up to Muskrat Point campsite, which is a kayaking and non-reservable site. First come, first serve. Empty tonight. This is Muskrat Point, a very pointed end to this Murray Bay. We could portage across in about 20 feet. We're gonna round this point tonight and head that way. See if we can find a camp spot at maybe Flat Rock. We're gonna head around there to Flat Rock, but we are gonna call it a night and go to Muskrat Point campsite over there. Landing at Muskrat Point kayak campsite. It is empty, but it's nice. Breeze is picking up, so we're gonna head in before rough, stormy waters. This is our site at Muskrat Point, and I pretty much can't feel my feet right now. They're completely numb, but I can't get frostbite because it's not below freezing, so that's good. Here's the toilet, and I was wondering why the trail was so long to get to it. It's because there's no walls. It's way out in the boonies, so no one can see you, but people can easily sneak up on you. Welcome to Muskrat Point. Enjoy your stay. The wind is really kicking up tonight. It's going to be a cold night sitting by the fire. It is a gorgeous view from our campsite. A few deer tracks. This is Murray Bay we're in. There's my tent. Sheltered from the wind pretty good in there. This is a surrounding area. A lot of hemlocks and paper birch, white pines. Heading out to the lake from my tent. Rick's got a new North Face tent. Brand spanking new. First time he's used it. Here's our bear box.
What?
Plenty of room.
Was that yours?
Yeah. Evidences of old shipwrecks along here. Sandhill train tracks. We saw bobcat tracks, deer tracks. Heading around Muskrat Point over to Wick Point. We're walking out to Wick Point from Muskrat Point through the woods. We started out on the beach, but decided to come up here. It's not too bad walking. Not a defined trail, but you can tell people have been walking through here. Okay, we found an old, overgrown 2-track along the coast here, so we're following this to Wick Point. Some big rocks along here. It's 6:45. We were at Muskrat Point. We followed the coast and then up through the woods. We found a 2-track. We found Wick Point. Started heading northeast on this trail, but we decided not to go all the way up to there, so we're gonna cut cross country back to our campsite. We're heading cross country through the beech, maple, hardwood forest, then heading west till we hit the coast to Muskrat Point. Trout lilies are starting to bloom. A lot of beautiful old hemlock trees we're walking through. Out of the hemlock jungle, back to the beach. We navigated it pretty well right by our campsite at 7:15. Today we parked at the ferry parking lot, kayaked a half a mile over to Williams Landing, kayaked all the way around Murray's Bay up to Muskrat Point. Then we set up camp, and then we hiked from Muskrat Point to Wick Point. Got a nice fire going tonight. High fire risk this week, so we're not gonna get it going too big because it is a little windy. There's our view. It was supposed to be calm today, but the winds are probably 10, 12 miles an hour. Pretty choppy, even in the bay here. So we're gonna see what it looks like out on the big lake. 9 o'clock. We're on the water, leaving our campsite. And a sunny day, but windy. Pretty windy this morning. Fighting it right now. There's Bay of Munising over there. And here's Wick Point we're passing around this morning. Passing around Wick Point, first of our cliffs on this trip. Staying warm over there this morning, Rick? Staying warm? There's the Bay of Munising over beyond Rick. It's Wick Point. Coming up to the East Channel Lighthouse shortly. There's the East Channel Lighthouse straight ahead. The East Channel Lighthouse was constructed in 1868 to 1870, and it was operated until 1913. There's the East Channel Lighthouse, and over that way is Pictured Rocks. East Channel Lighthouse is now on private property. Just saw a bald eagle near the East Channel Lighthouse. Here he comes. Starting to come into the cliffs, just past the lighthouse. Small waterfall. Oh, the water is really shallow here and sandy bottom. Flat Rock campsite should be just around the bend up there. Very cool along here. Another waterfall up ahead. A lot of little sandy beaches along the cliffs. Small sandy beaches. Pretty, isn't it, Rick? There's some snow left along the cliffs. Coming up to the open water now a little bit, going north, and we're going to see how rough the lake's going to get. It's getting pretty rough out here. Starting to get some white caps back north of us, so we're heading back, find a campsite, and then backpack around the island. It was just too dangerous along the cliffs. There's a peregrine falcon flying up overhead. There's the East Channel Lighthouse up ahead. It's Wick Point straight ahead. There's Munising Bay. There's Williams Landing up ahead ways. We're cut straight across from Wick Point. Made it back to Williams Landing. We're gonna unload our kayaks, put it all in backpacks, and start backpacking around the island and just store our kayaks here. We're having lunch at Williams Landing before we head out backpacking around the island. Got a water pump and it is working. We're leaving Williams Landing and we're gonna start our circumnavigation on the outside of the island on these trails. 1:10, we're leaving Williams Landing. Sign says all trails this way. So here's the Western Trail going left, and we're gonna go straight to Murray Bay, which is 1.8 miles. Here's a split in the road, and we're going to Murray Bay, Duck Lake, and Trout Bay. Some old shack along the road. There's an old tennis court. Now I don't think that is 100 years old. Well, Rick, how are you feeling? Good. We had to abort our kayaking because of the wind and waves, but we have a backup plan. Backpacking. Buttercups, trail in bloom, and there's a bunch of trout lilies in there. Here's some of the 21 private residences that were grandfathered in when the National Forest purchased this, and it became part of Hiawatha National Forest. There's the Pharaoh cabin and some water for the public use. Yeah, water's going. Got river birch, cedar, and hemlock growing along the coast here. There's some white pine and cool rock formations. A lot of water running on the island right now. Small streams. Interesting rock sticking up. Some trees growing on it. Stone quarry cabin. Looks like a pretty old cabin. There's stone quarry cabin. Yeah, buttercups and spring beauties are coming up everywhere. There goes the sandhill crane that's been leading us away from its nest. Coming up to the intersection of the cemetery, so we're gonna go check that out. Here's the oldest white cemetery in Alger County. Some 1920s sites. There's Bridget Williams, 1828 to 1913. There's all the Williams, the first people on the island. There's Abraham Williams, Isaiah Williams, probably the first one buried in the cemetery. Anna Williams, Warren Williams. This is Murray Bay. They've got water here. Murray Bay with picnic tables and nice view of the bay. Pretty large hemlock still standing in this area. We arrived at Duck Lake. Here's Duck Lake. And they have a viewing platform over Duck Lake. I think that's for some buffalo heads. And I think I spotted a loon. Just went under. White-tailed deer over on the other side wandering around. Passing Duck Lake Camp. Passing the intersection, and we were gonna go straight. We just passed Duck Lake, and now we're at this intersection. We're gonna go right and then try to catch this trail up this way. 0.4 miles to Trout Bay. In a field of solid spring beauties. And ferns are really coming up right now. Spring beauty, Solomon seals, fern, gorgeous. Trillium aren't quite in bloom yet, but getting close. Here's another dead beech. Almost all the beech we've seen are dead from the beech bark disease or the beech leaf disease. There he is, Red Velvet Expert Backpacker. We're coming up to another trail sign, Trail Bay Overlook, 0.8. So we want to go left at this intersection towards the Trout Bay Overlook, and we are on a foot trail. Here's the steepest grade we've had on the whole trail so far. And it's really not too bad, it's not very long. Caution up ahead, that's what we got. There's a stream running through here down into the Trout Bay. We're climbing way above the lake right now, quite a ways down there. We're gonna go right to Trout Bay Overlook and then continue there north to the north end of the island. We're coming up to Trout Bay Overlook, and I can see pictured rocks in the distance. Looks nice. There's Trout Bay down there. This is Trout Bay, and you can see pictured rock in the background. Here's Road's End campsite, just past the Trout Bay Overlook. Here's the Road's End campsite, and a nice view of Trout Bay, and there's a pit toilet over there. And just past the Road's End campsite, the road is ending, and it's turning into a trail. No motor vehicles allowed beyond this point. And Rick. A few winter deadfalls on the trail, but it's pretty clear overall. There's a downy woodpecker up there. Mile 16, they got these markers all on the trail. Coming up to the turn off to the footpath towards Freighter View campsite. The trail going inland to the north doesn't look like it's used very often. The one towards Freighter View along the cliffs, however, looks very well traveled. That's the one we're taking. 4 o'clock, we were at this point, and we were gonna veer right and north up to Freighter View campsite. This trail doesn't look like it's used very often at all. Pretty overgrown. The beech trees are definitely taking a beating on this island. They're all weakened and cracking or dead or dying. Unfortunately for the wildlife, the beech nuts are a very important source of food. There's the first view of Gitchigumi since we left the Trout Bay Overlook. Gitchigumi meaning Great Sea in the Ojibwe language. Passing mile marker 15. Beautiful stand of hemlock along the slope here. Beautiful green colored water down there below the cliffs. Dutchman's breeches are coming up. Long way down now. Very difficult to get a good view of the lake from this trail, but there it is. 3 more miles to Frater View. That's how the 3 More Mile Club got named, because there's always 3 more miles, no matter where we were going. Here's the coast. This is what most of the trail has looked like. Some wet spots. A lot of valleys eroded out from streams running into Lake Superior. Coming up to a caution sign, probably getting close to the cliffs again. Red-tailed hawk up there making a racket. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get to Frater View campsite. Tiny pine cones from such a large tree, the hemlock. Lots of wet areas on the trail to navigate around. Got about a half mile to Frater Lake campsite. This is the view. Very nice. Probably a quarter mile to Frater View. There's Northeast Point. Use caution. I will go take a look. Very cautiously. No railing, that's a surprise. There are deer tracks out here, so deer are also enjoying this view. There we have it. Right next to the overlook, we have Frater View campsite. And we have not seen another person on this island. I don't think there's going to be anybody here. We're going to keep going to Shelter View because that Frater View, they had 2 tent sites, but one of them would be right next to the fire pits. So we're going to head to the next one, half a mile away approximately. Beautiful sand beach down there. Take refuge in. There's the arch. And we are on the way to Shelter Ridge campsite. Should be just up ahead. There's a trail heading south. It goes parallel to the one we just did, but it looks very overgrown. It's some kind of cat, a bobcat. Seven o'clock, arrived at Shelter Ridge, and I think we'll definitely stay here. There's water, and in a few weeks this will probably be swarming with mosquitoes and black flies, but it looks good for us. It's got an outhouse and probably a bear box somewhere. Rick, welcome to Shelter Ridge campsite. It's very nice. North Light Beach and North Lake Creek, right just down the hill from our campsite, and I'm going to fill up with water here. The stuff at our site looks nasty. Beaver just went under. Pretty sure it was a beaver, not a muskrat. I saw a big tail on it. Rick's making some beef stroganoff for dinner. I'm just doing some Nor's Alfredo. Gonna add a chunk of cheese to it. No bear box at this site. Try this. Rick's gonna hang his food. The North Lake Beach, close to sunset, a lot of cliffs down that direction. 8:50. The sun is going down below the tree line. A little bit of snow on the ground. Campfire at Shelter Ridge. Very beautiful site with a beach nearby and a river. This is a prime location. Supposed to get chilly tonight, down to 38, so I'm wearing my down coat in my sleeping bag tonight. See if I get too warm.